in the interest of Elizabeth, and Sky Rico in the interest of Camden Martinez. We're here today in each case for a review hearing. We're conducting this through Zoom under finding of good cause and agreement of the parties.
All three kiddos are doing well, considerably. Camden is back in school, and this school is where he struggles the most, I think, with some emotional dysregulation. Foster parents tell me at home he's fine, but he has some outbursts in school where he's a bit inconsolable, but the teachers work really closely with him to bring him back down and get him regulated again. Sky is doing well as well. She is no longer in ECI. She aged out after she turned 3. She still needs some speech therapy services, and foster parents are looking into some other providers who offer speech therapy and are going to get her enrolled in that as soon as possible. And Sky is in daycare, and Elizabeth attends that same daycare as well. Elizabeth does well. She has some issues at daycare when she's leaving to go to visits. She does not want to go with the visit monitor, and so her daycare teachers will assist her in getting loaded up in the car and going. And then after that, I haven't received any report that those same kind of the crying and the being super emotional lasts through the visit, but just initially. And I think that is due to some of these continual missed visits that have happened since February. Mom has attended the last 2 weeks of visits without issue. So that is where we are at right now.
Miss Lawrence, how is Mom doing?
I was able to meet with Mom yesterday. I think we had a productive conversation. Mom let me know we were a bit concerned about Elizabeth's birth certificate. That is something that's been needed to have been obtained a while ago. Mom let me know that she's in the works of doing that. I know it can be a big process, and she's been sending paperwork back and forth to Austin, is what she reported to me. Tina also told me that she has been working on getting her driver's license. She will need to take the driver's test again. She's the parallel parking got her this last time, so she's going to be taking that again. She let me know that she's working at IHOP. Her schedule is kind of all over the place. She said she's kind of the float, so wherever they need her is where she goes. And she did send me her pay stubs yesterday. She has a vehicle. It was previously in the shop. When I went to see her yesterday, I didn't see the vehicle. She said her mom had it and was getting groceries, but it's out of the shop. And once she has her license, she'll be able to get that car insured.
Okay. You'd mentioned Mom had made the last couple of weeks of visits, but we had quite a few missed visits. What's been going on with the visits, and why has Mom not been making them to them?
I got this case on September 4th. So a lot of this happened before me, but the reports that I received, the reasons for a lot of the missed visits was the transportation issue. I don't exactly know when Tina obtained her vehicle. And before that, she did report that she had COVID. When I received this case from Mickey Lane, Mickey did not receive any documentation that Mom tested positive for COVID and would be missing, the next 2 weeks of visits. But that's what was reported to me.
Okay. When this case was mediated, we put in a step-up plan for visitation stuff. What step of the plan is Mom in at this time?
We are still at step 1.
Okay. And that required 8 consecutive visits?
Correct.
Okay. So since February, we have not had 8 consecutive visits?
Correct.
So, okay. I know you stated that it was Elizabeth Sky had aged out of ECI. part of the plan was mom was to write summaries of the ECI visits and attend all the ECI visits with the child. Did we receive the summaries and the step up so that we know that mom's understanding what's going on?
We did not.
We ever receive any?
We did not.
Okay. And when did she aged out in June? Is that when, around June or July is when ECI stopped?
That would be correct. Mhm.
Okay. Out of what was mediated in the plan, are we still having trouble with mom completing parts of that?
Yes.
What have she not completed?
And let me just get that mediated agreement right in front of me so I know what I'm talking about. So like you had said, the 8 consecutive visits is something that we still need. Additionally, we're needing mom to attend all of the kiddos' medical and dental appointments. That has not yet been done.
I'm gonna stop you real quick. How many medical and dental appointments has she attended?
None to my knowledge.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
Sorry, we're needing mom to show some proof of stable housing. Right now, she's living with her mother. It's not a permanent situation, it's just temporary. And the birth certificate for Elizabeth was another big one that I can think of.
Okay. Has mom been drug screening for the department? Has she been asked to drug screen? I guess is the first question.
Mom has not been asked to drug screen this month. Last month she did not drug screen.
Okay. Was she asked to?
That is what I was told. She was sent by Mickey Lane.
Okay. Today, are we asking for mom to drug screen for us?
Yes, please.
Okay. Do we need hair follicle and UAs today?
Yes, please.
Okay. And do we want to go ahead and test for alcohol also?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. You stated how long has she been living back with her mother?
I am unsure what duration she's been living with her mother.
Okay. Have you been able to go see I know you've been on the case for about 3 weeks, but have you been able to go by the home?
Yes, I went yesterday.
That yesterday you were able to see the inside of the home?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And when you say it's not a permanent situation, is that what mom told you?
Yes and no. Mom, had told me that she wants to be around family for some support.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say no, because due to prior CPS history that would not be a permanent place that we could return the kids to if we get to that point.
Okay. So what you're stating is if mom makes it through all the steps and a reunification plan ever got going, the home she's living in now would not be an appropriate home to return to.
Correct.
Okay. Anything else with mom? Did mom, do we know, did mom attend the ARD for Kim?
She did not, to my knowledge.
And we can get some clarification. I know you weren't on the case at that point, but anything else that we need mom to do or you need to ask the court for today?
I do not believe so.
Okay. So at this point, we just need mom to start cooperating with the mediated settlement agreement from February.
Yes.
Okay. And asking for drug screens and alcohol screen today.
Yes.
Okay. I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Barfield.
Thank you, Judge. Ma'am, now where were the doctor's appointments? Were they in Amarillo or Lubbock?
They would have been in Lubbock.
Okay. And so we previously talked about the transportation issues, and it appears that Tina is making progress in that regard. Is that correct?
It appears that way, yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Now she passed the written part of her driving test and passed everything but the parallel parking. Is that right?
Yes, that's what she told me yesterday.
Okay. And as soon as she has transportation, it would make it, would you agree with me? That should make it a lot easier for her to get down to Lubbock to fulfill the stair-step plan in this agreement.
Yes.
Okay. Now, in regards to the visits, when the visits have happened, have the visits gone well?
The report I received from the worker who supervises those are when they do visits at the visitation house in Lubbock, there's really no issue.
Okay.
She said, you know, when it's out in the community, it's a little bit more of an adjustment. You know, she doesn't say they go bad. It's just more difficult, I think, on from what she observed on Tina.
And we're at 2 consecutive visits now. Is that correct on step 1?
Correct.
So we need to see 6 more consecutive visits, and then we can start looking to move to the next phase.
That would be correct.
Okay. Now, other than and the housing issue, did Tina indicate to you that she's hunting for another place, or what's going on with that? Do you know?
No, she had told me that, I mean, she is able to get another house whenever. She, you know, said that wasn't an issue for her. But she would like to have support. She said she does not, you know, want to be alone. If she has a house, she'll be over with her family
Okay.
anyways. So
And right now, based upon the visitation schedule and where she is right now, that's not even an issue, really, is it? In other words, kids aren't coming to her home right now anyway, are they?
Right.
Okay. So, other than that, is there anything else that you can think of that the court needs to know?
I don't believe so.
All right, thank you.
Hey, Ms. Fouts?
Big questions on Miss Lawrence. Thank you, Judge. She answered them all.
All right, Ms. Zavala.
Ms. Lawrence, if you know that the ECI visits, were those set up for mom to attend virtually?
Yes.
Okay, and they're from February until now, or until she aged out of those visits, there were 21 visits?
No, that was just visitations with the kiddos. I'm unsure how many ECI appointments we've had off the top of my head since February before she aged out.
Okay, I'm looking at the report and it says Tina attended 2 out of 21 ECI visits for Elizabeth.
Okay.
From February 25 until she was discharged after she turned 3.
Okay, then that would be correct.
Okay. And let me just clarify, is that actually supposed to be Sky?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. But so she had the ability to attend those virtually
Yes,
and only attended 2 of them.
correct.
And that was a big issue under the mediated settlement agreement, was making sure that mom was understanding the needs of the child. And in fact, that's why in the mediated settlement agreement, she was supposed to summarize what happened at those visits.
Yes, ma'am.
And so if she only went to 2, we didn't get reports for those 2 even, right?
Correct.
Okay. So the agreement that mom worked out herself and agreed to, she didn't follow any part of that regarding ECI.
Correct.
Okay. I pass the witness.
All right. Anything further from the department?
Just one clarification. Ms. Lawrence, with Ms. Zavala's question just then about the 21 ECI visits, you mentioned it was the visitations. There was, according to the report, also 21 canceled visits for visitations, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
My apologies.
No, you're good. So there were 21 canceled visits, but there was also 21 ECI visits.
Mm-hmm.
And she only made 2 of those.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, then, Mr. Barfield, anything further from your client this morning?
I'll ask, Miss Martinez,
And I need her to turn her camera on.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Martinez, I'd like for you just to briefly tell the court where you are in relation to your transportation and your driver's license situation, please.
I took the written test. I passed the written test and everything. I haven't been able to pass the parallel parking. I've already tried it twice and I keep failing just the parallel parking.
Okay. Now, in regards to these ECI visits, did you have any confusion or do you have any questions about why were you not able to attend those virtually, or why didn't you attend those virtually?
When Christina was my caseworker, sometimes she would send them to me, and then sometimes she wouldn't. And then when I would try to log on, sometimes it wouldn't let me on. And then like I have screenshots where I would screenshot where I'm sitting there waiting to get like let in. It wouldn't let me in, or sometimes the thingies would drop. So I just quit trying, honestly.
Okay, well, I appreciate the honesty. And on those screenshots, if you'd send them to me, I could forward them to the department so that that could verify what you're saying. And hopefully with the new worker, then you'll have a little better progress.
And the 8 visits and all that, now since I have transportation, I won't miss a visit or like appointments or nothing.
Now you understand that part of your, just to make sure, because you're still pretty young, you understand with this stair-step plan, you don't move forward at all until you strictly comply with the plan. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
And that's pursuant to our agreement in the mediation. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you have a job right now,
Yes, sir.
and it's a steady job with steady paychecks.
Yes, sir. I get since working at IHOP and I am a server, like my check stubs are like I've never made more than when I was doing the training, I made 300 and something, but like the check stubs that I get every 2 weeks are less than $50 because I make more cash tips than credit card tips.
I understand. That's a serving industry, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have any questions or have anything that you have any questions about right now, so that we can get them answered for you?
No, sir. I have the appointment for Elizabeth in December, so it's already in my calendar. It's just when I had Christina, she just wouldn't cooperate with me. And then when Mickey had asked me to go take my drug screening, I have the messages with her where I told her I don't, she texted me at like 11 something and transportation was already picking me up to go to Lubbock. I had
Okay.
told her I don't, I can do them in the morning on Thursdays, but when she had texted me because I have to sit there for an hour by the time they let me go to the back.
Okay. So you understand that the department's asking that you drug screen for both drugs and alcohol today.
Yeah,
And will those tests be negative or positive?
negative.
Okay. All right. All right, y'all. I have no other questions.
All right, Ms. Fouts, anything else to share today?
If you have any questions of this witness, I would ask that I call Ashley Pear just to give the court a brief update on how the kids are doing.
Sure, that's fine. And I haven't been swearing anybody in. It's a informal hearing, but that's, you can go ahead and ask her questions.
Ashley, could you just update the court on how the kiddos are doing, especially Elizabeth, since she's had some struggles?
Overall, the kids physically are developing very well. They're meeting their milestones. Um, Elizabeth, I'm getting reports from the daycare that she is crying at pickup when the visit monitor comes and just not wanting to go with the visit monitor. The daycare staff is needing to pick her up and carry her to the car and put her in the car seat for the visit monitor. Sky is doing very well. Camden is struggling with emotional regulation. There's been some reports at school of his behaviors that the teacher is keeping track of. Just having a lot of trouble with redirection and emotional regulation.
Anything else you need to share with the court?
Am I allowed to comment on the ECI?
Yeah, go ahead.
The instructions that I had given to Tina were not for her to log in. Because if she logs in, then I have to use the ECI visit on my phone. So I had given her directions in text to message me whenever she is ready for the visit to start, and I will call her. And I never received a message stating that she was ready to start.
Okay.
Because that way I can have it on my computer screen and I don't have to hold my phone. I could be focused on the children during the visit, during the ECI service.
Okay. Anything else?
No, ma'am.
That's all I have, Judge.
Okay, thank you. And Ms. Pear, thank you for continuing to provide great care for the kids. We really
Yes, Your
appreciate it.
Honor. Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Zavala, any recommendations today?
Your Honor, I do recommend that placement continue. They're doing very well there. I am concerned about kind of the complete lack of progress, it feels like, and just kind of the mediated settlement agreement just kind of flying out the window. But I have no concerns about where the kids are and believe that that placement should absolutely continue.
All right, thank you. Okay, then today I'm gonna order Ms. Martinez to do the hair and UA drug screens and include an alcohol screen. You'll need to be there before 4 p.m. today to do that. Ms. Martinez, can you get there?
I can go once I get off of here, I can go and the transportation's supposed to take me to Lubbock today. It's just I sit there for an hour and a half by the time they call me back, but I can go. It's just I don't know if I'll see them by the time.
Wait a minute. No. If she's supposed to have a visit, I'm going to object to some drug screen today. I don't want her missing a visit to reset this step because she's being ordered to drug screen, Your Honor. That's not fair.
Well, yeah, I mean, I get that. I'm trying to find out what time do they pick you up to take you to Lubbock?
They usually get to the house at 11:30 and we leave by 12 because they put gas and stuff.
Okay, then I'm gonna order to do it. Can you go tomorrow?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm gonna order to do the drug testing tomorrow. Before, can you do that before noon tomorrow?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, I'll order you to do that before noon tomorrow. Okay, I will continue the department as permanent managing conservator, and I will continue the children's current placement. Ms. Martinez, I understand that you've had some issues you've had to deal with, but you know, you made an agreement, and I'll just tell you, all eyes are on you to see if you're going to live up to that agreement. And you know, a lot of time has gone by. In other words, you know, it's the old lot of water under the bridge. And you've got to really start knocking this stuff out and doing what you agreed to do. Because I can just tell you what'll happen next is they're going to be filing a modification. And we'll be right back where we were. So, you know, I'm not saying those things to be ugly to you or threatening. I'm just telling you how it is. And so we've really you got to have to step it up. Okay, I will see everybody back for our next hearing. That'll be on March 19th of 2026. That'll be a 9 o'clock docket.
Your Honor. Y'all have a
Thank
good
you.
weekend.
Thank you.
You too, Ms. Val.
Have a good rest of your day.
You do. Thank you, Abby.
In the interest of Jaden and Samara Darnes, we're here today on a review hearing.
Samara is doing very well. She is over at Against All Odds. They moved her from the 10th Street location to the house location they have nearby. And the plan is right now to also bring her brother back into care, and he would share that house with her as well. Samara's working, doing well. With that, I think she's at almost full 2 years at this job, and Her plan is to start over at Amarillo College in the spring semester. She wants to go into art and business to combine those together for a future business of her own. And, you know, she seems quite happy. She's, you know, still squirrely, but working on it and getting better. She's been working on her driver's license, finishing up all of her written tests. The next part will be getting her around and driving, but she does have her own car now. So I'm not sure how that works with the law as far as getting insurance on that car so they can drive her around, but that's some of what we got to figure out. And it's a cute little car, you know, kind of looks like a pregnant roller skate. I mean,
Well, I did read that it was light purple.
yes, and she's decorated the inside with some bright purples.
Well, good for her. She saved up her money. She's got a car.
Mhm.
We'll just need to see it through, get her driver's license, and she's ready to roll. So I'm proud of her. I think she's
Yes, ma'am.
doing really, really, really great.
And
So let me clarify when you're talking about her brother.
Moses.
Okay. I wanted to just be clear, we weren't talking about Jaden.
No, ma'am. Moses. Moses has asked to come back into care because his older sister, from what he has described, is in the next couple months going to be moving out of the state, and so he doesn't want to move out of the state. And also, he's admittedly, as he put it, not as good at being independent as he thought he might be. He feels he still needs help with things like developing schedules and maintaining his budget, the budget being one of the big ones that he brought up. And so, against all odds, came up with this plan to have the two of them in the same house. And they made the exception because they are siblings and not, you know, just young men and young women mixed in the same house. And
Okay.
it's a small but efficient house. It, you know, the usual living room, small kitchen, and then three very small but functional bedrooms that are in it.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Mr. Zoll, did Moses state do we know what the timeline is for him to come back into care?
The application is in other, you know, usual, you know, make clarifications and corrections, but as soon as the acceptance for the application is in and against all odds accepts the sending, which could be done in the same day.
Okay.
It'll be ready to move in. Then it would just be a matter of physically getting his stuff together and getting him in.
Okay. When that happens, when that process gets completed, if you would just be sure to let my office know. So
Yes.
that we can
Yes,
get them
no
hooked up. Thank you.
No problem.
Is it an SIL placement?
Yes, ma'am. It is
Okay.
an SIL placement.
Okay. And is he working so that he will qualify?
He's working full time for Pizza Hut,
Okay.
and he has sent the documentation showing that he's working not full time but close to full time. And now, as far as school and such like that, he kind of waffles with that. I mean, he talks about wanting to learn these things, or we're wanting to do these things, but not so much going to school for them.
Yeah. Well, bottom line is that he and Samara, and I don't know, we're not really here technically talking about him, but
Right.
but they both qualify because they are working at this time.
Correct. They
yeah.
qualify under working.
Yeah. And she goes back to school, obviously
she'll
yeah.
qualify under that as well. Yes.
Okay. All right, then. Okay. Then let's shift gears and let me hear about Jaden.
Hello. Yes, Jaden, he's doing well. He is currently in band and in football. He's passing his classes. I know he was struggling some there in the beginning, but the kinship home is really working with him and monitoring his homework. So he was able to bring those grades up. He's doing well in the kinship home. I know Jaden is he's always on the fence about where he wants to be. He kind of goes back and forth, but I think he's really transitioned into being in the kinship home.
Ms. Corbett, do the, how often do the siblings get together? Do they get visits and get to see each other quite often?
Yes, I told Miss Perky that it was at her discretion. She's reported that Moses came and spent many weekends over there. So,
Okay. So those siblings are still doing well and staying in touch and keeping their bond going well.
yes, sir.
Okay. Any other concerns with Jaden? I know you said he's kind of waffling on where he wants to be. He seemed pretty settled where he is now.
Yes. When you mention adoptions, I think it's kind of scares him. But that's our ultimate goal, is to try to get him adopted by this family.
Okay. And the Perky family is the one that you're talking about is
Yes,
looking
sir.
to do that? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just got to kind of get Jaden on board and him wanting that.
Yeah, and they don't want to push him. So, I mean, they did do all their kinship classes. So they would need to do, adoption stuff. But we're giving them time to do that. So.
Okay. All right. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. All right, sounds good. Okay, then Ms. Zavala, recommendations on both kiddos?
Yes, Your Honor. So Jaden did seem to be doing really well in the home, and I got to speak with him separately. And then I spoke with the family to answer any questions that they had. They seem very supportive of the sibling relationship. They've provided his football schedule to his siblings. I know that Samara got to go to his, I think, last football game. And they've said, we would love to have them over to our house. We would love to make sure keep that connection. They very much want Jaden to kind of drive the bus on where they're going. They are very, very willing to adopt and are ready to do that, but they want Jaden to be on board, which makes perfect sense. And really, we're still kind of in a transition period. I think he's been there about 6 weeks now. Now, the one thing I wanted to ask is the licensing process, when you've got to go through as if you were going to be a foster to adopt home, is very, very lengthy. And I know there have been different changes and different groups that offer that licensing, but I believe there might be a group that does kind of a shortened, they're not wanting to open their home as bringing in other kids. They only want to adopt Jaden if he wants to. So I'm really hoping that they could get on that fast track and not have to do all of the documentation that's required when you are opening your home as a foster. But they're flexible, and I think we'll just be monitoring as we go along. I've also discussed with them the possibility of PMC. So I think we'll just kind of watch and see where that goes, but it feels like a good supportive place for him. As to Samara, I am so proud of her. She is doing amazing. The house is great. She's got a dog. It's got a yard for the dog. There have been some changes recently with her. So I visited with her about 2 weeks ago, and then a lot had happened. So I went and visited her last night, and I show up unexpectedly, and she's cleaning up her living room, and she's just really doing what she needs to. And I think she's excited about the possibility of Moses coming in. And but also she's like, I'm gonna talk to him if he's not doing what he should. I'm gonna, let everybody know. But I couldn't be more proud of her. She's doing so good.
Okay, great. All right then. Yeah, I mean, he hadn't been there very long, So I think we got plenty of time. Let him get comfortable. All right, then we will extend jurisdiction at Samara's request, and I'll sign that order. We'll be back for review hearing March 5th. And then with Jaden, I'm going to continue the department as current managing conservator and continue his current placement. And I'm happy to hear about Moses. Hope that all goes really well. And I'm really pleased that Jaden's in a place that can really help encourage the sibling bond and contact, and probably be of help to the older kids if they needed something. So it's a good situation. So I hope that'll work out. Okay. Thank you all very much, and I'll see you back March 5th for reviews on both cases. 9 o'clock docket. I didn't say that. My apologies.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Anna.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jason and Stephanie.
In the interest of Quavian Barnes, we're here today on a review hearing. We're conducting this through Zoom. We're live streaming, and Ms. Taylor is making our record. Okay, and Ms. Burks is also logged in with us. We had her on her phone. I confirmed it was her earlier. She's with us. All right, then Ms. Bird, I guess you're going to give us the update, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So Zach was moved to a different foster home. He was currently in a foster home, I believe in May. The home did actually close their doors. So he was moved to a different foster home at the beginning of August. So I notified everyone. So far, he's done really well in this home. He's with the Harper family, which the father of the foster home is a coach. So he's doing well in school, credit recovery, doing sports. So he's actually doing really well, seems really happy. This family has even mentioned, they would basically support Zach when he is older, as well as, if there was ever an option for adoption, that they would be interested. So right now he's just kind of bonding with this foster family and just really being a typical teenager and kiddo. And he's eating, sleeping well. I believe he was doing individual counseling. I'm not sure if he's still doing that. I know he's been pretty busy, but overall doing well.
Ms. Bird, what about contact and visit? I think it's on the report. He hadn't spoken to Ms. Burks in a couple of months. Have they had contact here lately?
Not to my understanding. When I talk to Zach, he mentions every single time he'll say, I'll call her after this call. And he does say he misses her. But he said when it comes down to actually dialing and calling her, he just basically can't get the courage to. So I just encourage him, if his counselor or myself can help, kind of get that first phone call going. I also mentioned that in his previous placement, she's called him. And so, but he does say he misses her and will call her. He just doesn't.
Okay. And I know some kids sometimes writing letters to him kind of breaks the ice for him. Is he willing to do something like that to try to start out? And have y'all discussed that?
We discussed it with Miss Burks, and she did write a letter, and he did end up moving placements. So as far as him sending a letter, we have not, just because of like his interest. But it's something I can definitely discuss with him. He definitely says he does miss her and thinks about her. So.
Okay. And when you say Ms. Burks wrote a letter and he moved placement, did he not get the letter, or did it?
Correct. I gave her the address to the new placement, and I don't believe it was ever sent to that previous foster home. And then he just moved last month. So she does have that address as well. So she's welcome to send that letter. And so it just didn't get sent at the previous placement.
Okay. Anything we need Ms. Burks to do? I know she cooperated all through the initial case. She's still in Colorado?
Yes, to my understanding.
Okay. And they're still just looking to connect, just haven't made that yet.
Correct. And Miss Burks did state, you know, if Zach had a home or placement that, you know, she would just like to know how he's doing and stay in contact. So Ms. Burks has been very cooperative and understanding of the situation.
Okay. Is there any other family that Mr. Barnes has reached out to or keeps in touch with, or is he just kind of trying to get settled in where he is?
Seems like he's getting settled in where he is. He did say he talked to his older sister, who was adopted. She's planning to move to the Houston area. So he mentioned he would love to reconnect with her. And so that's the only family contact that he's had, or that he also wants to have.
Okay. Today you're just asking for the court to continue the PMC and placement and see how things move along.
Yes.
Thank you, Ms. Bird. Pass the witness, Your Honor.
Okay, let me, I kind of want to know what Ms. Zavala's opinion is on this as well, but what if we let him kind of get settled a little bit better and then maybe set up something scheduled? You know, either with a therapist or with you, Ms. Bird, or with Ms. Zavala or something where it's scheduled that they would have some phone contact. Just, maybe if somebody else was present to kind of help with the conversation and ease into that, it might be easier. I want him to adjust and get settled in before we start tossing something new into the equation. But, I would love for him to be able to maintain contact with Ms. Burks. And even, Ms. Burks, if this ultimately ends up, if these folks are comfortable and he's comfortable and they want to proceed with adoption, obviously that's going to require, your cooperation in that regard. But if it achieves a, kind of a permanent family for him, an extra support system for him, then, he's 17. We don't have a whole lot of time. I know he just turned 17, but that year will go by in a hurry. So, I think if we're going to explore it, we probably ought to be doing it here fairly soon. But like I said, I want to let him get settled. So I guess, Ms. Zavala, what are your thoughts?
I agree with that. And I want to say that Ms. Burks has been great in terms of keeping up and keeping in contact. And every communication I've had with Zach over the years, actually, he's spoken very positively about her. I think he does very much care about her. I think it's a great idea to do some sort of scheduled something. Now, I will say, he did not attend our scheduled visitation or Zoom meeting we had scheduled. But in setting that, Kelly got a great report from his placement, spoke to the coach, and if I understand correctly, he got to stay in the same general area, even though he changed foster homes. And so he got to kind of continue it in the same school path, with some of the same people he knew and has some of those connections. So I think that's been really good. All the reports I've gotten are good, but I have not gotten to speak with Zach himself for a while. But I think it'd be a great idea to schedule something with Miss Burks, because I think they're important to each other.
Yeah. Well, let's just say maybe by Thanksgiving, like, maybe a pre-Thanksgiving call or something, and then we could do something again around Christmas time and just maybe get him in just easy man. I mean, he's a 17-year-old boy, and, it's been quite a while since they've talked. And I mean, it's just, he's still a kid. So I think a little help with this kind of the icebreaker would be a good thing. And then I think it'll just happen, as they say, organically. So,
Okay.
are you okay with that, Ms. Burks?
Yes, ma'am. I'm okay with it. But I do have a question. If this family does end up adopting him, will I still be able to talk to him and stuff?
I suspect the answer to that will be yes. I mean, I think, he's like I said, he's 17. It's at that point, it's kind of I hate to use the word formality because that probably isn't all encompassing enough, but he will be an adult very soon, and who he chooses to converse with and have conversations with will be his decision, obviously, whether they adopt or not.
Yes,
But,
ma'am.
the adoption does mean, it means some things for him down the road as well,
Yes, ma'am.
and so, um, I really don't want to rule that out just because of his age.
Okay.
If it can happen, I think it would be great, but I'm sure all of that could be worked out. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
And if I may add or mention, he has mentioned to me maybe in the holidays if he can come visit Miss Burks. So I definitely think he would be interested to stay in contact with you and even come visit you as well.
Okay.
And I just told him, well, you got to call her to visit her. So, so I can definitely help encourage that.
Okay. All right. Okay, then I will continue the department as permanent managing conservator. And we'll continue his current placement. And I'll see y'all back March 19th, 2026 on a 9 o'clock docket.
Thank you, Ann.
Thank
Hopefully
you.
we'll be well on our way to regular contact at that point. All right, thank y'all. In the interest of Michaela Blackwell. All right, we are here on review hearing.
Michaela is doing fantastic. I actually went and spent some hours with her on Tuesday. She is in great spirits. She has got to move to the Success House. I'm not for sure if I had put that in my court report or not. That just happened a couple of weeks ago. The Success House is only 8 girls get to go to that home, and it's less restrictive. They get a little more freedom than the other girls do, and she got nominated to go over there. So she's doing great in school. She's passing everything. She did get off of all of her medication, but then she herself asked if she could be on something because she kind of felt that she needed something to help with her moods and stuff. So they did put her on a medication. But other than that, she's doing fantastic.
What are we looking at as far as like a discharge date for?
They haven't given me a discharge date. I do have a meeting next week with her case manager to go over that to see how far she is in the program. So I do know when I went and picked her up, that was her first pass that she had gotten. She's been having calls with her aunt her grandma, that we will potentially look to for placement for her if grandma agrees and the therapist believes that it's a good move for her. So they are doing therapy visits right now also.
Okay, good.
So she has also asked for a few people to be on her call list. So I am going to work on that this week. I'm not really familiar with a lot of the people. I did get a little bit of the history from Michaela about her brother and sister and things like that. So I'm going to work on getting those people on her call list this week.
Okay.
So other than that, I mean, I don't have a whole lot more. She's just rocking along. She's doing great in her therapy. She said that she didn't ever think that she would like being there, but she loves being there, and she can tell it's really helped her.
Well, it's great. I'm very happy to hear that. Let's see. I know we've got some issue about, starting her with PALS and all that since she's out of state. So, That's kind of why I was wondering if we had any idea about discharge from that Arkansas facility. Just because, you know, she's 16 and I'm beginning to see that clock tick.
Right. Yes, absolutely. And I will, when I visit with them, I'll definitely see about getting a discharge date. I know she's only been there about 6 months, 5 months, 5.5 months. So I don't know if this is the first kiddo I've had placed in Arkansas. So I don't know if it's like a year long. But from other caseworkers I've talked to, they're usually there about a year.
Yeah, I would say that's fairly typical. I am concerned about starting to focus on some of the independent living tasks. So, anyway, just kind of see what they say. Maybe they'll feel like she'll be ready to leave before that. I don't know.
Yes, and I told her I would visit with her grandma too, about placement and what she needs from us to be able to make that happen or make that successful for the both of them.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, if she's happy there, I hate to, you know, disrupt too early. I don't want to do that, but
yeah, she's doing great. We went and got her some snacks because she can have snacks now of her own if someone brings them to her. So we went and got a bunch of snacks. So she was happy about that. So she's doing great. She loves science. She's loving school. So she's a totally different kiddo from when I seen her in May.
all right. Okay, Ms. Zavala.
My visit with her was the best. Michaela is very vocal. She stands up for herself. She talks about what she needs. And in the past, she has not been shy about sharing any concerns, which is great. She was glowing. She she said, I really like school. I'm doing really well. She's excited about this success house. And I think at this house, they do a little bit more of like cooking for themselves, and they're starting to learn some of those. I think that's kind of built into that house. And yes, she wanted contact with some other people, but it seems like the medication adjustments are like, it seems like it's just right now. And she's been really good about speaking up for what she wanted in that area. So it is kind of a fine line right now between, not making her stay there for too long, but also making sure she finishes getting anything that she needs from there, and that the transition, if she's able to go to grandmother's house, and she was very interested in exploring that. I understand they are doing family counseling. I don't know if we can work something where we do some weekend visits. I know that's a lot of transportation, but I don't want to rush it for them since she's doing so well. We want to make sure we do this right, but there is kind of a balancing act between.
Did I read that grandmother was maybe looking at trying to make a trip there to see her?
Yeah,
I think so.
If I can speak on that, they actually, Mill Creek pays for their trip. So like they'll pay for her plane ticket and they'll pay for her motel room. They give a certain amount allotted for that travel for family to come see the kiddos. So she's just got to that point where she can do that. So grandma was going to look at her work schedule to see when we could make that happen. I don't know if it's vice versa, if they would help pay for Michaela to go home. But I'm sure it's something we can work out when we get to that point of trying to get her there to do some visits or, something like that.
They're notifying Kelly that they're in the waiting room. It may be under Jody. It wouldn't have been a name we would have recognized.
Jody Rodriguez.
Yes, sorry. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, she definitely, she wanted to be able to speak today too, I think, so.
Okay.
And Judge, if we need to go off YouTube since the child is present, I'd make that motion.
Ms. Ball?
I think that'd be good just to make sure Michaela feels comfortable sharing anything that she wants to.
Okay. All right, I'm going to close the courtroom here for a few minutes. We'll reopen it and 6-1 in the interest of Sophia and Joshua Cordona. All right, we're here for a review hearing. We're conducting this through Zoom. We are live streaming and Ms. Taylor's making our record.
Sophia is liking her placement. School was a bit of a struggle. I did get a report yesterday that that's improving. She is starting to make some friends. So I'm hopeful that that will kind of shift and she'll end up having a better school year. Joshua is doing well in his placement as well. School is also a struggle for him, but his is more grade related. He's struggling in a Spanish class right now, but both kids are happy in their placement and doing well overall.
They're together?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah, Joshua is down south at a group home, and Sophia is at a prospective adoptive home.
Okay.
Ms. Brown, I saw in the report Joshua's he's still having some issues he's working through with counseling, kind of aggression, anger issues. Is that what's going on?
Yes, so I haven't had any real reports since he's moved to this placement of aggressive behaviors. It was a struggle in his last placement, but it is something that he's continuing to work on in counseling.
Okay. And he goes weekly to that?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else going on him that we need to address that he's working through right now? Is everything else going well for him?
Everything else is going well.
Okay. When you say struggle with his school in grades, is it focus and attention in class? Is it just not liking school? What's going on with him on that?
I think it's paying attention in class and then turning in assignments.
Okay. Is that something we have placement? He's going to an on-campus school?
No, it's off campus.
Off campus, okay. Is that something placement's helping us with to kind of watch and make sure he gets his assignments done?
Yes, sir. They're on top of it down there. And we did have an ARD meeting for him earlier this month. And so we are making some accommodations to make sure that he's getting the most of his school day. Okay.
All right. So is he, and I know you said he's going off campus, but on the report it states he's at Cy Woods High School, which is on campus. Is he not there anymore, or is that a different school?
He is at Cy Woods. I didn't know it was on campus. The ARD didn't, it seemed like a regular public school when we had our ARD meeting.
Okay. All right.
I think there's some confusion it's a regular public school. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Off campus of where he's living.
Yes, that is correct. Sorry if I misunderstood. It's off campus from placement, yes, but it is on campus, a public school.
Okay. All right. Okay. And with Sophie, you said she's starting to make friends. Does she enjoy school? Is she doing well there, or just struggling with the shyness and working with people?
I wouldn't say she's enjoying it. I think she's trying her best to make friends. And when I spoke with her this month, she was struggling in a few of her classes with her grades. But it was reported to me yesterday that her attitude towards school is improving. And so I'm hoping that the, grades will follow.
Okay. And let's see, she hasn't been in this placement very long. Is that correct?
That's correct. She's been there since the end of August.
Okay. All right. So she's still getting settled into that, but everything's going well in her placement.
Yes.
Okay. I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
And I apologize, Ms. Brown. I was looking back at my notes, and I know that we'd approved a sibling split on these kiddos, and so I don't know. I was thinking of different kids, so my apologies.
Not a problem.
Have we started discussing adoption with her? I mean, I know that I read that the placement is interested in it. Have we started talking to her about it?
Yes, Sophie is on board with being adopted.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. She's really liking Shelly in the placement. And yeah, that's her goal, is to move forward and be adopted by Shelly.
Okay. All right. Great. Okay. All right, Ms. Zavala.
Your Honor, they're both doing better. I think when Josh was in Leveland, I think that was a helpful place for him for some time, and then it just reached its end. I mean, he really was struggling, and I think he needed more. That was a situation where he was staying on the general campus where he lived to go to school. I think this now being in a place that's less restrictive, more kind of normal school experience, I think that's going to be a really good thing for him. He struggled before with maybe not the best use of technology. He has now earned some technology privileges where he is, and so that's good. I hope that he is kind of learning the more appropriate ways to use that. One thing he was telling me is that he's doing good in school, but he doesn't like dressing out in PE, and so he's not. I think at the point he thought he was failing PE because he wouldn't dress out. And I was like, well, is this a required class? He thought it was just an optional class. You know, I think it would be great for him to be physical and get some of that energy out. I think that's great. But if it's an optional class and he's kind of tanking himself by choosing not to dress out, I would really like to see if we could get that one changed for him. But we had a talk about trying to dress out. I don't know if he will be going forward. But overall, I think it's been a good switch for him. And then I also believe it's been a good switch for Sophia. She felt like she moved to a place where everybody's known each other for their whole lives, and she's the new person, and started a little bit late into the school year. But I do think that's getting better, and I do think she really likes her placement. She's feeling like maybe her meds aren't really helping her, but it sounds like she's talking to doctors and they're working on that issue. So she's advocating well for herself, and she's getting to do things like volleyball, and it's club volleyball, not through the school. And then she's about to start track, and she was excited about that. And I think that will help her in terms of feeling more connected to the kids in town. But overall, it seems like she's doing very good. They both want some contact with some extended family, and I think they've had some discussions with Courtney about that. But Courtney and I can talk about that a little bit and see if any of those people would be appropriate for them to have contact at this point. It may be some may be, some may not be situation.
Okay.
But I think we can talk about that.
Okay. All right. And Ms. Campadile.
Yes, Sharon talks to both Josh and Sophia multiple times. I know last month Sophia called her like 17 times. So she gets to talk to her very, very often. Sophia really does love being with Shelly. She has not had the same pushback to adoption as she had in the past with this. So I think this is a very good thing. Sharon and Sophia talk about school every single time school starts. So I know that this is an ongoing thing for Sophia. She doesn't do good switching schools, but she does finally kind of find her footing and makes friends and ends up loving it. So I'm not too concerned about her being a little upset with school at the beginning of the year. We're super excited about where Joshua is. I know his case manager there, he used to have a relationship with before, so he's excited to be back with him. It really does seem like both of the kids are doing very, very well in their new placements, and we're very excited for what's going on in their futures.
Okay, I appreciate it. And of course, as always, we appreciate everything that you all do for our kids. All right, then. We'll continue the department as permanent managing conservator, and we'll continue both children's placements. And I'll see y'all back March 19th, 2026. That'll be on a 9 o'clock docket.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, just sounds like we're headed in the right direction, so that's good. Okay, thank y'all.
Thank you. Thank you, Courtney.
Thank you.
Thank you.
In the interest of the Martinez children, we are here today on a review hearing. We are conducting this through Zoom. We're live streaming. Ms. Taylor's making our record. Okay, we'll go ahead and take announcements.
Daniel Trial for the department. Margie Lopez is the permanency specialist on this case. We're present ready on it.
Stacy Zavala on behalf of the children.
All right, then, Ms. Lopez, we'll go ahead and let you give us an update, what's happened since the report was filed.
Okay, so the kids are all doing really well. Estrella's 12, she's in the 7th grade. She likes to go by the name Star. We do have an adoptive family for her located in Florida. And so we have submitted the subsidy packets for that. We are just waiting on the negotiation phase to be done. And then we can get her moved to Florida with her adoptive placement. She is in orchestra at school. She plays in she's in several tech clubs. She's making good grades. She's wearing glasses. She is a little bit bossy with the other kids in the home. But she's a big helper. She's able to make herself some meals that she enjoys, like chicken strips and tater tots. I did observe her doing some of those things while I was visiting with her. And then she has virtual visits with her siblings on Tuesdays from 5 to 6. And then we are working on getting her and her siblings a in-person visit, as they have not had an in-person visit in almost a year now. So we're working on getting that done. And then Vince is also doing really well. He's very active. He's attending therapy. He's medication compliant. He's wearing glasses. He struggles a little bit with his behaviors and does need frequent redirection. But other than that, he's doing really great. We have not found an adoptive placement for him just yet. And then we have Juan. Juan is also doing really great in his placement. He enjoys going to school. He loves electronics, loves playing video games any chance that he can get. He also enjoys attending visits with his siblings, and they are all kind of curious on what their status is for adoption. They ask me every time I talk to them, like, where am I going? Do we have any new options for me? So we're actively still searching for them, and then hopefully we can allow them to have an in-person visit. So they're pretty excited about that.
I'm glad they're still inquiring about adoption after some failures. So
They are. They're still very hopeful, which I'm very, very happy about.
Yeah. Okay. Resilience.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I hope that'll happen. Do they know that their sister is likely headed to an adoptive home?
They do. And we do have an adoption placement possibly for, I believe, Juan in Utah, but he has not been told about that yet. And he does ask all the time. But until we get approvals, we won't let him know about that just yet. So.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Okay, Ms. Zavala.
Your Honor, I think everybody tried really hard to keep these kids together. I mean, it really hard, but it has worked out better for all of them individually to be separate, but still have contact. So that was my big request is, can we just do a all hands on deck push to try to get them an in-person visit? Because if we're talking Florida and Utah, it's only going to get harder. But I mean, I think the whole team has worked really hard. They've had a lot of different needs. There had to be a lot of different changes. So I'm just hoping we can pull off getting them together before she goes. But in general, they're all doing well where they are. Star's in pace. She's ready to go. She, and I don't blame her, So I'm excited for that. And I do know there was, I think at some point there was a hiccup in the sibling visits and they weren't happening as often. Then I think they got back on track. For some reason, Tuesday nights didn't happen because my visits with Juan and Vince were scheduled for after that, and that sibling visit didn't happen. But I don't think that's a regular occurrence anymore. I think those are happening, and I do want to make sure that we make sure that those continue to keep happening. But in general, they are all doing well where they are, and just looking forward to moving forward for them.
Okay. All right. Well, it sounds like everybody's doing the best they can do, and and it really does sound like the kids are doing better. So I think it was the right move. So I hope that the adoptive homes, I hope they'll be committed to trying to help maintain that sibling contact. And so
that is something that, sorry, okay, stop my phone. That is something that we've talked about in the different staffings with them and the meetings with them.
Yeah. Okay, then I'll continue the department as permanent managing conservator, and I'll continue all their placements, and I'll see everybody back March 19th, 2026, 9 o'clock docket. All right, thank y'all.
Thank
Thank
you.
Margie.
Thank you.
Okay, this time then I will call cause number 100329E in the interest of Rodney Allen Evans II.
Let you stop.
We are here set for an adversary hearing today. We are conducting this through Zoom under a finding of good cause and agreement of the parties. We are live streaming, and Ms. Taylor's making our record this morning. All right, then we'll go ahead and take announcements.
Daniel Trout for the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services. We're present, ready, Your Honor.
Natalie Archer on behalf of the mother, Riley Sumi. We are both present.
Continue on Frankfurt Avenue for half a mile. So on behalf of the father, Rodney Evans, Your Honor, we're both present. I'd ask the court at this time to reset the case for just a later date to give the attorneys an opportunity to speak with, well, for myself to speak with Mr. Evans.
Stacy Zavala on behalf of the child.
114 East 19th.
Okay.
Judge, real quick, Mr. Chad Pham, is he in the waiting room?
No. Now he is.
Okay.
Just popped in.
Yes, ma'am, if you can bring him in.
Okay. Okay, so Ms. Lucero has made a motion for a continuance. Hang on a second. Mr. Evans, I'm gonna mute your device just because of I hear a GPS in the background, but for the court reporter's benefit, I'm gonna mute it for just a minute. Okay, that motion has been made, and I assume Ms. Archer is joining in that.
Yes.
So since parents are not where I can put them in a breakout room to have a confidential conversation with their attorneys, I guess we'll reset it, guys. This is getting real tight. We got lots going on. So I don't know, Ms. Katie, what are we looking at?
We could possibly reset it for September 30th at 1.
All right. So just, we'll reset for September 30th at 1 p.m. Obviously, Ms. Archer, Ms. Lucero, if y'all are able to reach any agreements, that's great, because it is already a really busy day. But you can let everybody know.
Okay, Your Honor.
Okay, I will put you in Ms. Archer, you and Ms. Lucero, I will put you in a breakout room with your clients, and just, like I said, be aware, obviously, that it is not a forum for probably any confidential privileged communications. So, okay, so Mr. Evans, Ms. Sumi, I'm gonna move y'all, or you'll have to accept this, but you're gonna get a prompt here in just a second to go to room 2, and you can say, I think it'll say join, and then you can talk with your attorneys long enough to make sure that everybody's got good information.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Judge, one real quick before everybody jumps out of the room. Or did Ms. Archer jump out?
She did.
Okay. I was just gonna make a request, and just due to the nature of the case, I know parents are headed down for a visit right now. But due to the nature of the case, we were gonna be making a motion as far as no in-person visits right now with the baby until we get clean drug screens.
Well, let's let Ms. Lucero jump over, talk with him, and then y'all come back in real quick. So Ms. Lucero, if you'll just tell
Okay.
Ms. Archer, we need to address one other thing.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Honor.
But they're being transported for an in-person visit right now.
Yes, ma'am. That's my understanding. I found out about that just a while ago.
Okay. Is the baby placed in Lubbock? Okay. Okay, so Ms. Archer, this issue came up about in-person visitation. So they're there. It's too late to do anything about this visit. Obviously then, because we're talking about a baby, we would like to have some negative UAs before we do any more in-person visits. And that's just pretty standard order of the court. So I'm sorry that they aren't here where I can explain that to them, but just make sure they understand that's not meant to be punitive to them. It's purely a safety issue for the baby. But we can continue with some virtual visits till we have some negative UAs.
And you're on, I guess, the investigator, whoever's still on the case, will reach out to them again when they want them to go UA.
Yeah.
I guess before our next hearing on next Tuesday.
I know mom obviously was tested at the hospital, but
right.
I don't know what the status of getting any kind of drug screens on dad. Has he screened for us?
Mr. Pham I don't think he's screening. Have you asked him you asked him to go, didn't you?
Yes, I asked both mom and dad to go in for drug screening, and neither of them have complied.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and order them as part of this continuance. I'm just going to go ahead and order that they go drug screen. And since they're down in Lubbock today, I would just say that they need to go do that by noon tomorrow. So
And Your
that'll
Honor,
be hair in UA.
okay. And Your Honor, may I ask, I'm assuming that since they're being transported, they don't have vehicles. Will the department or St. Francis, whoever, be able to, I guess the department, be able to transport them to get screened tomorrow by
Yeah.
noon?
I'm
Okay.
sure Ms. Zuniga, we can get that lined up, can't we?
And
Absolutely.
Judge, if we can have the paperwork over there today, I imagine St. Francis, when they bring them back from Lubbock, can take them straight there and just have them screened today if we can.
That's
fine yeah, I can try to figure out who the transporter is and see if they can't do it before they drop them off.
Yeah.
Okay.
That way we don't have to try to, if they're not staying in one place, we don't have to track them down.
If the transporter has the time
Yeah.
and isn't booked for something else, then I don't have any problem with that.
Okay.
I may reach out to I don't know who St. Francis worker is, but someone's going to have to tell them that they're going to be taken to drug tests besides the transporter though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, Ms. Collins, is their visit an hour today?
I would imagine.
Okay. Well, once, I guess at least by 12:30 or so, I'll reach out to Mr. Evans and let him know.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Just, you put it off on me, say I court ordered it and maybe we'll know whether they're going to be going today or whether it'll be tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. I appreciate y'all. Then I'll see you back on the 30th.
All right. Thank you.
And that's like the 5th adversary hearing we've got set that day. So it's going to be an ugly day, I think.
Fun day.
Yeah. Okay. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Judge.
All right, this time I will call Potter County cause number 100330-1 in the interest of Eileen Phillips. We're here today scheduled for our adversary hearing in this matter. We are conducting this through Zoom under a finding of good cause and agreement of the parties. We are live streaming. Ms. Taylor is making our record this morning. All right, we will go ahead and take announcements.
Daniel Trout for the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services. We're present, ready, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I'm Tate Eldridge. I represent the father, William Meek, and we're both present and ready.
Bethany Stevens for the mother, Sierra Phillips. We're present and ready.
Stacy Zavala on behalf of Eileen.
All right, thank you. And just so we've got this handled, Jaden Holtman, who has been named as an alleged father, is not present, nor is Morgan Parrish, who has also been named as an alleged father in the case. I do not have him present. So we'll want to find out about where we stand on service and everything with those gentlemen.
Judge, with as far as Morgan Parrish, he was arrested 2 days ago and appears to be still in Potter County Jail on some pending drug charges. We just found that out late yesterday afternoon. I'm not sure if we've got him served yet. I'd let my investigator know. He said he'd try to get out there today to get him served, but he is sitting in jail in Potter County right now. As to Jaden Holtman, he is actually pled in as a presumed, because from our understanding, he and Miss Phillips are still legally married. But we have no locating information on him. Ms. Reynoso has run some accurate searches. We have not had anything pop of where he possibly is.
Okay, let me just ask, Miss Phillips, is that correct? Are you all still married? You're muted, so I can't hear you. You'll have to unmute.
Here we go. I apologize. Yeah, Jaden and I have been legally separated since 2020. He lives in Austin currently. I can get a contact number for him if I must. We don't really communicate, but yeah, we got married in New Mexico and didn't realize what we were getting into filing for divorce here in Texas. So, and I didn't know that I was pregnant, obviously. So, but he is not, there's no chance of him being the father.
Okay, so, but the answer to my question is that you are still married, correct?
Yes, yes, ma'am, legally, yes.
All right. And because of that, he's what is known as a presumed father, because you are married. So he will have to be notified. We will have to make attempts to reach him and just notify him of it. Obviously, we're probably going to be doing some genetic testing in this case. And so if he, if he's not, he can cooperate with us and get, genetic testing, and we can rule him out. Or we can do genetic testing and figure out a different way if we do establish that, for instance, that Mr. Meek is really the father. So, but we do have to attempt to notify him. So I would appreciate it if you would give what information you have, or if you can reach out to him and give that information to your attorney.
Okay.
Who can make sure that the department folks get that.
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, Mr. Meek is fairly certain that he's the father, and he's willing to do genetic testing and get that. That might clear it up pretty quick, just getting him tested. But he's pretty sure he's the father, and he's willing to go ahead and get tested anytime we can get that set up. Now, okay. That'll clear up a lot of these things.
Yeah, yeah, and if he, he's present and willing to cooperate, so that's probably the fastest avenue.
Yes, ma'am.
So. Okay. All right, Mr. Trout, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good, Your Honor. As far as Mr. Meek and Ms. Phillips, their counsel has notified me that they are in agreement with temporary managing conservatorship to the department. They're agreeing to work services and to cooperate with the department. We're not asking for any child support or medical support at this time. And we would, as Mr. Eldridge just stated, we would ask to go ahead and have genetic testing ordered on Mr. Meek and the child to see if we can rule anybody out.
Okay, let me just ask Ms. Stevens, is that your client's agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and Mr. Eldridge?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
All right, then if we could just have some brief testimony on the record about Mr. Holtman and Mr. Parrish, then I
Yes,
think we'll be okay to move forward.
Yes, ma'am. I call Vanessa Reynoso, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Reynoso, if you'll raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you'll give today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Reynoso, would you state your name for the record, please?
My name is Vanessa Reynoso.
And Ms. Reynoso, how are you employed?
I'm an investigator with the Department of Family and Protective Services.
And you're familiar with the case involving the child Eileen Phillips?
Yes, I am.
And you heard us announce that Mom and Mr. Meek are both in agreement for the temporary managing conservatorship today.
Yes.
So as to the other two named possible fathers, Morgan Parrish, have you been able to track him down?
I have not. I received information from William and Sierra that they have been in contact with each other up until the day that he was arrested. They've conveyed the need to return my phone calls. I've made phone calls, sent text messages, but he has not made any effort to return those phone calls or messages.
Okay. And he's named as an alleged father, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
And your information that you received was that he had been arrested and was in Potter County?
Yes.
Okay. But when did you find out about that?
Late yesterday afternoon.
Okay. And so you have not had time to get out and speak to him?
Yes, that is correct.
In the very beginning of the case, when your investigation started and his name came up, did you ever have any contact with him?
No, I have not had any contact with him.
Okay. As to Jaden Holtman, from Mom, you understood that they are still legally married, as Mom stated a second ago.
Yes, that is correct.
Have you run searches trying to find Mr. Holtman?
Yes, I submitted a search to a special investigator with the department, and it returned with no hits. And then she provided a date of birth, and it still returned no hit return, no results.
Okay. And has Mom said a second ago she may have a contact. Does Mom given you a contact name or a number for him? Or
no, we did have an agreement that she would try and provide me with contact information. When I followed up to gather that information, she didn't respond.
Okay, all right. So this time you have no way of knowing where or how to contact Mr. Holtman?
I do not.
And to the best of your knowledge, Mr. Parrish is in Potter County Detention Center?
Yes, that is correct.
And you've not had time to contact him?
I have not.
Are you asking today that the court grant temporary managing conservatorship to the department?
Yes, I am.
For parents to work services?
Yes, I am.
And for genetic testing to be ordered on Mr. Meek?
Yes, I am.
As to, due to the nature of this case, is the department asking for visits at this time to be held virtually until we get clean drug screens?
Yes, that is correct.
And is that for the safety of the baby?
Yes.
And do you believe that's all in the best interest of the child?
Yes, I do.
Thank you, ma'am. I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Stevens, do you have any questions?
No questions, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Eldridge
No, Your Honor.
and Ms. Zavala?
No questions.
All right, anything further of this witness, Mr. Trout?
Nothing further of this witness, Your Honor.
All right, then. Okay, you have any further witnesses to call?
Your Honor, I'd call Ms. Phillips just real quick. I know we spoke about a second, but just under testimony.
Sure. Ms. Phillips, if you'll raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you'll give today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
All right.
Ms. Phillips, would you state your name for the record, please?
Sierra Phillips.
And Ms. Phillips, you're the mother to Eileen Phillips.
I am.
You heard us talking about Jaden Holtman. Do you have a contact number for him?
I don't have a phone number. I can contact him through social media though.
Okay. Can you provide that either to your attorney or to Ms. Reynoso or Ms. Brady?
I can.
Do you have Ms. Brady's contact information?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and you have Ms. Reynoso's?
Yes, I do.
Okay. If you could, would you send that information to them so they can try to contact him?
Yes, sir.
Do you know where he lives?
He lives in Austin, Texas currently.
Okay. When was your last contact with him?
I had brief contact when I was served papers, I believe in May for the divorce. Otherwise it had been years.
Okay. And is it your understanding, that Morgan Parrish has been arrested?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you with him when he got arrested?
Yes, sir, I was.
Okay,
I
so
was-
you're
I was also-
personally aware that he got arrested?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I wasn't criminally charged with anything or involved in what he had been doing, but I was there when it happened. Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you happen to know what he was arrested for?
Initially the first two charges are drug charges, but they're going to put a lot of burglary charges on him as well.
Okay.
He's been under investigation for a while because of burglaries, I guess, happening all over town.
Okay. But you were released from the scene and were not arrested or charged?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Your Honor. I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Stevens, any questions?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Eldridge?
Just one, Your Honor. Ms. Phillips, Mr. Meek has advised me that he's requesting placement with his younger brother in Lubbock, and he thinks that you're in agreement with that. Is that placement okay with you too?
Yes, it is.
Okay, we have to do home studies and all that, but that's where you would like the child placed if possible.
Yeah, I think that would be a great placement for her.
Okay, that's all I have, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, Ms. Zavala, any questions?
No questions, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Trout, anything further?
I'd ask Ms. Reynoso one more question, Your Honor.
Sure.
Okay. Ms. Reynoso, you just heard Mr. Eldridge ask about Mr. Meek's brother. His name was on the child resource form. Have y'all started looking at him, or has any home studies been presented for that house yet?
Not that home in particular, because we are unsure if it doesn't fit the criteria for kinship placement, because we do not know at this time if William is the biological father to Eileen.
Okay. But with that name, the department would be able to start a home study and start looking at things while we got some genetic testing pending.
Yes, the information, this was discussed with Shelby Brady from St. Francis.
Okay. All right. Thank you, ma'am. I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, then, anybody have any further questions?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Nothing further, Judge.
Nothing further.
Nothing,
All
Your
right.
Honor.
Ms. Stevens, anything to present? Any witnesses to call or present?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Eldridge?
Now, we agree to work. Mr. Meek agrees to work services. Our only issue, he would like placement with his younger brother if the home study and everything, and paternity, if he comes back to father. That's our only request.
Okay. All right, and Ms. Zavala? Recommendation today?
Your Honor, I do recommend that it's in Eileen's best interest to remain in the temporary managing conservatorship of the department. Currently, she is placed in Lubbock in a very safe and appropriate home. Kelly's actually been able to see her in person there. But Mr. Meek's brother also reached out to our office as well. And I don't see any harm in, I know nothing about him, so I don't know if he's appropriate, but I don't see any harm in starting a home study to run at the same time as the paternity testing. But for right now, Eileen is very safe and is being taken great care of.
Okay, appreciate it. All right, everybody close.
Close your eyes.
All right, at this time, then I do find the evidence is sufficient to name the Department of Family and Protective Services as the temporary managing conservator of Eileen Phillips. I find that there would be a continuing and ongoing danger to return the child home to any of the parents at this point in time or alleged fathers at this time. I'm not going to order any child support or medical support at this time. I am going to order the genetic testing to take place between William Meek and the child. And I'm fine with initiating the home study on his brother. Go ahead and get some of that going and out of the way, and maybe by the time we get genetic testing done, we'll know about that situation. So I'll talk to parents at the next hearing, obviously more about your service plans, but between now and then, these folks are going to sit down with you and they're going to talk to you about what kind of things they're going to want you to do, you know, to be able to get Eileen back. You know, obviously drugs are an issue in the case, so you know that's going to be the number one thing. I mean, if you can take all the parenting classes, do all the counseling, you know, do all the other things that we will want you to do, but if you can't stay clean, then you know I just can't send a baby back into an environment where there's active drug use. So you know, that'll be the main thing we're looking for. So I encourage you both to do whatever it is you think you need to do, whether that's inpatient for a while and then some intensive outpatient. But they'll be visiting with you about all this. Regarding the visitation, it's pretty typical policy of this court. If we've got known methamphetamine use, that I don't permit any kind of in-person visits with the baby until we have some negative UAs. And that isn't meant to be punitive to you all. It's just designed to protect the safety and the health of the baby. Methamphetamine can be transmitted, you know, skin to skin, and so it's very dangerous. And Eileen has already been through quite a bit. And you know, we just don't want to pile on any complications. So make an early commitment to sobriety and getting clean and whatever that looks like, whatever that takes. You know, I personally strongly recommend to y'all to go to inpatient. You know, your next month will be better spent doing that than almost anything else I can think of. But I'll allow the virtual visitation, but we're not going to do any in-person visits until we've got negative UAs. So, okay, I'll see y'all back for your status hearing. That'll be November 4th of 2025. That'll be on a 9 o'clock docket. We'll talk about these services at greater length at that time, but you can get started on things. You don't have to wait till then. Get started, the sooner the better. All right, I appreciate your cooperation and I appreciate you working this out, and I wish both of you the best of luck moving forward. So I'll see you back in November.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, before Ms. Brady gets away, may I speak to her in a breakout room, please?
Sure.
Thank you, Ms. Stevens, Mr. Eldridge.
Thank you, guys. Y'all take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, let's
And
see.
Ms. Zavala.
You want Ms. Zavala as well?
Yeah, you can put her in there too, but I was saying thank you to her also.
Oh.
Didn't want to leave her out.
Ms. Brady, I'm moving you to room 2. So I'll leave this up till I see that you guys have gone.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Judge.
Okay. Thank y'all. Thank you, Amy.
Thanks, Judge. I'll see you next week.
Okay.
Mhm.